Hey fam, welcome to Stronger Together, Closer to God podcast. This is Minister Vernon, and today's episode, we're just talking about why it's important to love yourself and why is it important to understand your calling and purpose. Are you called to be single or are you called to be married?
From friends to lovers,
to kisses and cuddles,
we are doing it
God's way.
This is Stronger Together, Closer to God.
The seventh key that we learn is that seek God's wisdom on whether this is the season to remain single, to date, court, or pursue marriage.
I'll ask you a question. You always be putting me on the hot seat.
Yeah.
I'm about to put you on the hot seat.
Woohoo!
How did you know that it was the right time for you to be married?
I went and prayed to God. I went to God and I prayed to God. And I remember it vividly because it was outside. And I looked up in the sky and I prayed to God. I said, God, I feel this is the person that you brought into my life. If this is the one that you have called me to be with, let it be. But if I'm doing anything that is not pleasing to you, or I'm holding this individual back from the one that you have called them for, reveal that to me so that I can step out and let them be able to pursue what the call is. And after I prayed that, God gave me some visions and wisdom and words to confirm that you were the one for me. And that's what led me to be with my baby.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you have a conversation with friends and family? Yeah, I had a conversation with friends and family called God.
Mm-hmm.
But that's me. And I encourage that for everybody. Before you make that I do decision, pray to God and ask God's wisdom if this is the one that he called for you, if she's the one that called for you. You know, that conversation is critical. And I learned in the experience when I did that he revealed a lot of revelations to me as to why that would be the case. He didn't give me the whole picture, but he gave me steps to move forward in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why our relationship is stronger than ever, because I decided to not go into this relationship head first, just in my perspective. I went in diving deep in God's perspective. And soon we'll talk about how not only how we got together, but God orchestrated this picture, because there are some things in my relationship, in my life, when I was growing up, that I received, I would say, prophetic wisdom on, that I just kind of like brushed that off. But when we did get married, it brought me back to some of those prophetic wisdoms that I received back then.
And I know for me, those times when I was single, was praying for a spouse, and there's specifics. I was very specific to God on what I wanted in a spouse. He answered my prayers.
Mm-hmm.
He truly answered my prayers. And some of them that I didn't even pray about, but they were in my heart. I think sometimes I was a little fearful to pray about them, but God knew. He knew. And he knew what was in my heart. He knew exactly the mate that he had ordained for me to be with.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just about being married, being Mrs. Myers or being Mrs. Vernon Myers II. It was about doing his will and kingdom work. So
absolutely. And 1 Corinthians 7:7 says, "It is my desire," and this was Paul talking, "that all men might be even as I am. But every man has the power of his special way of life given him by God, one in this way and one in that way." And that was from the BBE version, but let me read it in the easy to read version. "I wish everyone could be like me, but God has given each person a different ability. He makes some able to live one way, others to live in a different way."
Yeah, because you know what? I'm glad you pointed that out, because some people, I'll be honest with you, some people don't want to be married. You know, that's not their desire. And that's okay too. You know, it's not about being married all the time. Some people are like Paul and decide because Paul was single. and they want to be single. They want to stay single, and that's okay too. I know people that marriage just isn't for them, and that's okay.
Yeah, because a lot of the relationships that you find, it's a lot of pressure from families, a lot of pressure from society that you should be married by then, or you should be this by then. And what 1 Corinthians 7:7 just reminds us, like Ecclesiastes reminds us, there's a season for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to seek God's wisdom on, is this the season or time? There was a season for me where I needed to be single.
Right.
So that God can work on me and teach me how to love myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was key for me, is that how can I, I need you to learn. And I heard the words biblically. I need you to learn how to love yourself.
Yeah.
You're seeking love, but you need to learn how to love yourself. And the first part of loving yourself is to spend time with me.
And then you were able to go to dinner by yourself, go to the movies by yourself, and do other things by yourself, and knowing that it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay, because I go back to the way that my mom taught me. She taught me how to do cooking and cleaning and washing and clothes and stuff. And I always asked my mom, I asked her one day, not to be rude or misbehave, but I was just curious why I got to learn all these things. And my mom gave me wisdom that I'll never forget. She said, I don't want you to be dependent on a woman. I want you to learn how to do these things for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that, in other words, I learned from God later, he added on to that so that you could be able to do those things in moments and times when your spouse is not able to. So in those moments when I cook, I know that you might be tired,
Mm-hmm.
Or you're running around, and we're caregivers, and you might be running around taking care of your parents. And so therefore I might have to step up and come down here and move the clothes from the washer to the dryer, or fold some clothes or things of that sort, because at least that's one last thing off your plate that you have to stress about and worry about.
Right. I'm so glad your mom instilled those things into you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, those are the wisdoms that you get from time to time. Conversation. I thank God for the wisdom and the revelation he gave us through reading 1 Corinthians 7. That doesn't mean that we're not going to read it again, because we learn from the word of God that sometimes he will reveal more things unto us and get us in a deeper relationship with him.
Joining us on Stronger Together, Closer to God podcast. Please continue to join us weekly as we share godly wisdom and advice to you. If you have any prayer requests or would like to sign up for a free 30-minute consultation with us, drop us a line at s2c2gpodcast@gmail.com. And if you like what you're hearing, feel free to partner with us by clicking on the Partners tab on the website. The more you give, the more we can spread the word and help us to reach our vision of bringing 1 million married couples stronger together, closer to God. Feel free to check us out on our website at s2c2gministry.com. Until next time, peace and blessings to all of you.